Our mission statement is very simple. It's to provide fair, free, and prompt conflict resolution services to Dorchester, Talbot, and Caroline counties. There is a movement in Maryland. It's a statewide movement to make sure that all of our counties are provided free service to mediation. And there's a gentleman named Peter Taylor, he was our first director, who expressed an interest in starting a center here to serve the Mid-Shore, which at that time did not have a center. And he built the center. He was the only employee for quite a while. And now we are one of the highest performing centers in the state. All kinds of mediation. I haven't really found a situation yet where mediation couldn't be helpful. The only exceptions, the only thing that would prevent a mediation from happening is an allegation of domestic violence or an active protective order. Most of our requests come from our middle schools because we have in the 6th grade, usually it's about 3 elementary schools that funnel into one 6th grade class, and it's very destabilizing for their social bonds. And so there's a lot of conflict that comes out as they try and figure out how they're going to navigate middle school. One thing that we hear often is, well, I just want to ask her if she wants to fight me because somebody told me she wants to fight me. And so we'll have the 2 students in the room, and really the only thing that they need to say, they need a private space where they can say, I just said that if you hit me, I would hit you back. I didn't say I wanted to fight you. I don't want to fight you. But if you hit me, I'm going to defend myself. So mediation has 3 fundamental principles. It is always voluntary. We will never force anyone to do, say, or agree to anything that they're uncomfortable with in the mediation process. The mediation process can be ended at any time. Also, our mediators are trained to be non-judgmental. And what that looks like at the table is that they are not there to offer advice, suggestions, tell people what to do, or pick sides, like make determinations about who's right or wrong. And the last part is that everything is confidential. So our mediators, even in our school programs, we maintain the confidentiality of the conversation that happens at the table. The only exclusions are if we hear an allegation of child abuse, abuse of a vulnerable adult, or a credible threat to do bodily harm. Those things we have to disclose. So if ever there's a safety concern, we're immediately accessing school staff. But what's really nice and unique about the service that we offer is that students can take ownership of the things they may have done wrong without fear of a disciplinary consequence. So they may really want to apologize for something that they've done that caused harm to another person in the school. And if they apologize for that, they're acknowledging that they did in fact do it, and there may be consequences. So we really foster an environment of honesty and openness. And the process itself is designed to support not only our youth, all of our participants, to develop their own unique solutions. So we're not handing them advice. Very often, I mean, right now we have situations where we need to do large group facilitation. So you may have upwards of 6 or 10 students who are all in conflict together and need to sit down and have an open conversation to get things resolved. Our process involves an intake first. So we have a private conversation with everyone that we're inviting to mediation to make sure that they want to do it first, that they're willing to try mediation, and that they feel safe having the conversation, and they can commit to being safe in the conversation. And so, yeah, we will do large groups as well. And we do student-teacher mediations, which is exciting. It's really powerful to see that work when a teacher is willing to be vulnerable, to have a really honest conversation with a student about their relationship. Incredible things happen in those meetings. They're really transformative for the whole experience of the classroom and just personally. And it's really a message to the student too, that the teacher cares enough about the relationship that they're willing to sit down during their planning time or after school and invest in having that conversation. Because if we were starting to measure our success by how many agreements we achieved, it would start to manipulate our intention at the table, and subconsciously even we could start thinking that we need to move people towards agreements, and it could impact our behavior as a mediator in the conversation. So our goal is to make sure our clients don't feel judged in the process, have the opportunity to express themselves openly and ask for what they want, and felt that it was helpful, even if it didn't result in an agreement. Often what happens is we'll have two people come into mediation. They may not have spoken in a while, and one of them will walk out. The mediation's over. And then we find out several weeks later that they've actually reconciled, and they attribute it to the opportunity of mediation, that it was really a great way to open that door. Now, all that said, about 70 to 80% of our cases generally average in a full or partial agreement.